So these are the top 10 FHIR tools that I think every developer needs to know about in 2025. If you worked with FHIR or if you're just getting started with FHIR, it can be quite overwhelming. There's a lot of tools out there. There is the new spec that keeps coming out. These are tools that I recommend all of my partners, clients, and customers to know about and use. So let's get right into it. So the first tool that we're going to look at is the HAPI FHIR library, and it's a library written in Java, and it's maintained by the same people responsible for Smile CDR. Now, the HAPI FHIR library is probably the reference implementation of FHIR, and it is probably the most widely used FHIR library out there. Now, the library actually consists of 3 different parts, and you can use it in 3 different ways. So the first way in which you can use the HAPI FHIR library is as a client. So if you're using a Java application, if you're building something in Java and you just want to connect to a FHIR server, the HAPI FHIR library provides you with a client, and there is a fluent interface which you can use to easily make HTTP calls to a FHIR API. And it will return all the data back in fully type-safe objects in Java. And again, it's not limited to just Java. You can use it with Kotlin, Clojure, Scala, any JVM languages you must be familiar with. You can use the HAPI FHIR library. Now the client again comes with a lot of other validation tools. You can validate if the FHIR that you receive back is valid, and there's like a whole bunch of things out there. But the first way in which you can use the HAPI FHIR library is as a client, like you are connecting to another FHIR server. The second way, again, like the HAPI FHIR library does a lot of things. The second way in which you can use the HAPI FHIR library is as a server. Now, again, in the server side, you can there are 2 different ways. So one is a plain server. So what HAPI FHIR has in the documentation, it says plain server, but this is what we usually call a facade. So you have a layer of FHIR, and you are writing all of the resolvers for how to handle a HTTP call in FHIR. And then you're translating that back to what your data system already knows. So using the HAPI FHIR Plain Server, you can build FHIR capability on top of any system. So you could have a database, maybe an old Oracle database, maybe a CSV file, maybe like, I don't know, SQLite. But you can build FHIR APIs, fully capable FHIR APIs on top of any data source. This can even be a REST API that your company has already built. The HAPI FHIR library will take care of validation. It will take care of all the nuances of the FHIR operations. It will generate the capability statement automatically for you, and it will provide you with everything that you need in order to make your solution FHIR capable or FHIR compliant. Last year we had so many clients use this to get ONC G10 certified. So again, like now ONC is called ASTP, but basically the US government came up with a regulation that every EHR provider or anyone dealing with healthcare data should expose the information to the patient through FHIR APIs. So everybody were like rushing and scrambling, and they're like, okay, like we need a FHIR solution. What do we do? So the easiest way to do this, again, if your API is limited, you can just write a few functions on top of your existing APIs or on top of your existing database, and you can have a fully capable FHIR server. Now, the third way, again, like this is another type of server implementation, but the third way in which HAPI FHIR library can be used, and it's also very quite popular, is as a fully fledged FHIR server. So they call it the JPA FHIR server. And if you go to the JPA starter repository, I'll put a link down below as well. You can actually set up a fully functioning FHIR server on top of a relational database. In this case, Postgres is the recommended database. They do support MySQL, but it's being deprecated in favor of Postgres. I think they also support like other in-memory data stores, but that is more for development. And if you are looking for setting up a production-ready FHIR server, then go with Postgres and use HAPI FHIR. Now, the fully fledged FHIR server, also called the JPA FHIR server, is a single Java container. You can also run it using the jar, and it will connect to a Postgres database. It will run all the migrations, and it will give you a fully functioning FHIR API. Now you can also have implementation guides on top of this API. You can have custom search parameters. You can do any sort of validation of these FHIR resources that come in. You just need to make sure that you configure it right. They have this application.yaml file along with the environment variables that you can use to configure the FHIR server how you want. So HAPI FHIR definitely must know, must use. If you don't know about it already, I don't know what to say, but do check it out. I'm leaving a link to this down below. Now, the second tool that we're going to talk about is the Inferno validation tools. Now, Inferno is again, it's a site hosted by the government of the United States, and they have multiple tools to validate if your FHIR implementation is working as expected. So I want to talk specifically about two sites. So the first is the FHIR Validator. Again, you just search for Inferno FHIR Validator and you'll get this. I will also leave a link down below. But you can post, or you can just paste any FHIR resource here, and you click on validate, and it will show you if this FHIR resource is valid according to the structure definition or according to the profile that you provide in the meta. So now it has a few profiles indexed by default, and the whole Inferno validation tool is open source. You can check it out in the ONC GitHub. But this tool, again, it's the best tool to validate a FHIR resource if you don't have anything set up handy in your local environment. Just paste your FHIR resource and click on validate, and you will see all the validation issues. You'll also see two categories. So you will first see the issues, which are it's not valid. It's completely no FHIR server is going to accept this. You'll also see warnings, which are this is probably not the right way to do it, but I guess it's okay. So the Inferno validation tool is superb. I think everybody should check it out. Inferno also has other suites of testing tools. So for example, they have the whole testing kit for ONC G10, and there is a lot of different test scenarios that you can run. So for example, here you could check if you are smart on FHIR compliant, or if you are just using the US core profiles properly, and if you implemented that well in your FHIR facade, that the one we talked about previously. So if you are building a FHIR facade, and in this case, I'm just going to test it with my JPA FHIR server. It's a fully fledged FHIR server, so it should pass. I'm just going to set up the FHIR bootcamp URL, just FHIR-bootcamp.medblocks.com, and we use this for all of our bootcamp students as well as all of our other training programs. But let's test if this is valid FHIR according to the testing kit. So we are setting a scenario up, and we are clicking on, we are starting the test, and you can see that it'll run all of these different tests, and after a while you can see what passed, what failed, what are the things that you can improve. So this again is the definitive toolkit for testing if you want something for free. There are, of course, other paid options out there, but this, in my opinion, is also open source. So you can always download this. It's written in Ruby, and you can always run it locally as well. And there's a lot of pull requests and issues that are being created by the community on how it doesn't validate their FHIR implementation well, and it's quite well maintained. So definitely, if you are getting certified for ONC G10 or ASTP G10, and you just want to know if you have a valid FHIR server according to US core, you need to know about the Inferno testing kit. Now, the third tool that we'll talk about is the FHIR Validator by HL7. This is the official FHIR Validator, and it's a jar file. You can download it on the FHIR website. It's just there. Now, while HAPI FHIR is this whole big tractor that does everything, and you can also validate, you can also do all of these other cool things, the FHIR Validator tool on the HL7 website is just what it sounds like. It's a validator, and if you pass it a FHIR resource or a bundle, it'll tell you all the different issues, and it'll tell you what exactly you need to do to fix them. So it's quite a simple CLI tool. You can just download it, you can put it in your local environment, and you can validate your FHIR resources. Now, again, this is better than just validating against a JSON schema. You can also find the JSON schema for FHIR in the download section of FHIR. But if you want a more fully fledged validator that is looking at the different invariants and testing different things, then the CLI by the official HL7 CLI validator is a little bit more of an upgrade than the JSON definitions. Now, of course, if you have a fully fledged FHIR server running, you can always use the $validate operation to validate a resource. That's also an option. You also have the Inferno tool, but this is just another thing that I see a lot of people use, and they just like it for the convenience of, like, it's just a jar. You have it downloaded in your own local system. Just run a command. Some people have set it up in their CI/CD pipelines, so they are just testing all of their different resources. So it's a simple CLI tool. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's something that you just need to know that it exists. On to the next one. So the fourth tool that I think every FHIR developer should have in their tool belt is Postman or Insomnia or some sort of a request, request maker. So you probably already have something. If you're still using curl requests to just test FHIR, it's like you're probably wasting a lot of time. Now, a tool like Postman can definitely help you save different requests on how you can interact with a FHIR server. The really nice thing about Postman that I like a lot is that you can share it with your team. You can make a collection and then you can share the whole collection with your team, and all of your team will then understand, oh, these are the APIs that I need to use. The other cool feature about Postman is that once you have, and again, this is common for a lot of Postman-like tools like Insomnia, is that you can set up all of these requests, and then developers can then generate the different queries in their programming language by just clicking on this generate code option. So you can have all of these different requests. You can have these different authentication methods. And in fact, it's really good for testing out smart on FHIR workflows because smart on FHIR is just OAuth 2 at the end. So by just selecting the OAuth 2 option from Postman, you are able to fully validate if your Smart on FHIR app will work the same. And sometimes it's just a sanity check. Usually you're doing something wrong in your application. Maybe it's just like some dumb mistake, and just having that same check done in Postman and it working will save you hours of time. And again, of course, generating code is something that I see a lot of people do. Once you have all of the collections and all of the requests, it's pretty easy to do the other things. The fifth tool that I want to talk about is FHIR Forge. Now, Forge is a Windows-based application that helps you build FHIR profiles. Profiles, again, like most of you may not be dealing with profiles on a daily basis, but if you're a big organization or if you're the government and you're building something specific to your use case, you need to build profiles on the base FHIR resources. Now, the base FHIR resources are just a framework for what different data points are common to everyone. So it follows the 80-20 principle, where if 80% of people agree on a certain data point, they will then add it to the FHIR spec. So it doesn't include a lot of the fields or the use cases that you might need. So you may want to add a few extensions. You may want to have a few different search parameters. So Forge helps you do all that. It's a simple graphical user interface. You can slice and dice different FHIR profiles, and you can have different constraints on different FHIR profiles. And it finally generates the structure definition output as simple JSON. So you can at any time just pass this on to another server like HAPI FHIR, and you will have a fully functioning validated FHIR server. So Forge, again, is a really well-maintained, really good tool, and it's free as well. It is a Windows application, so you have to download it. There are other tools like Trifolia that are like web-based, but in terms of functionality and in terms of capability, I think nothing comes close to what Forge has to offer. So the sixth tool that I want to talk about is FHIR Implementation Guide Registries. Now, there are two popular registries out there. So one is the official HL7 IG registry, and it has all of the different officially registered implementation guides. You can take a look at these different implementation guides. They do different things. They are all around the world. You have different IGs, and they also provide you a description of what they do, how they've done it, and like what version they're on. So this is the official FHIR the registry. There is also Simplifier by FHIRly, and they maintain all of the FHIR implementation guides. They can index throughout the world. And this, in my opinion, is a lot more user-friendly. You can like filter by country, you can filter by a lot of other things. You can find exactly what structure definitions are in a particular implementation guide. You can even download it completely on your own system. You can see all the different constraints. You can see the profiles, you can see the different resources. So I think the Simplifier people have done an excellent job at putting this together. And what I like the most about it is that it has the FHIR viewer built in to the registry. So you can just, you know that this is the format to expect everything in. And they, of course, have the different views of like the diff view and the full snapshot view, and you can see all that there is. You can, of course, also go to the main website of a FHIR implementation guide, and they might have a lot more information of the context and usage. But I think Simplifier simplifies your life if you're working with different FHIR profiles. You can upload your own as well, and it will be indexed here, and other people will be able to discover your implementation guides. Now, the seventh tool that we're going to talk about, again, we're getting more into the FHIR implementation guide creator territory, but it is the FHIR implementation guide generator. So again, it's a Java jar. It's more of a CLI tool, just like the FHIR Validator. But if you wondered why most FHIR implementation guides look and feel a certain way, like if you go to their website, you can see this particular format, and you can see like, oh, why does everyone look and feel the same way? Right, and that is actually you have the FHIR implementation guide generator to blame for that. So this is a tool. It can take your implementation guides, it can take your different structure definitions, examples, and all of your different artifacts, and it will generate a website where people can come, browse, and see all of the different nuances of your implementation guide. Now, this is the standard way to generate a FHIR IG. Especially if you are hosting it on a website, this is the standard way to generate HTML for your implementation guide. And we see almost every company that has an implementation guide generated using the FHIR implementation guide generator. And about governments and countries, all of them use the same thing. That's why all FHIR implementation guides are more or less, they look and feel the same. Of course, people have done some customization. You will see some purple, yellow here and there, but like more or less, they all feel the same. And in a way, that's good because people are used to a certain way of dealing with FHIR. You know, if you go to the top navigation bar and click on artifacts, you are going to see the artifacts, and that's all because of the FHIR implementation guide generator. Now, number 8 is the Vanya FHIR Browser. So we've had a podcast episode before with Darren Devitt, but I think the tool really helps explore data on a FHIR server. So if you are just like dealing with FHIR, Postman is good for making all of these different requests, but it may not be the best tool to really like go in, explore all the data, make edits to the data. So the Vanya FHIR Browser is again completely free to download. You can connect it to different FHIR endpoints, and it will show you everything that's available on this FHIR server. So in a way, it's similar to database viewers that just show you all the different tables that are available in a database. The Vanya FHIR Browser does that, but for FHIR. You can explore all the different resources. You can see the different warnings. And overall, it's a good tool to know if you're just going to explore FHIR and if you're going to spend a lot of time dealing with the different FHIR resources in a FHIR server. And here we can see a demo of using the Vanya FHIR server using our FHIR Bootcamp API. Again, it's an open server, so we can just like put it in here, and we can see all of the different resources under our FHIR Bootcamp FHIR server. Again, that's based out of HAPI FHIR, but this is the Vanya browser connecting to our FHIR API, and it's showing all of the different patients available under this particular server. So number 9 is Synthea. So Synthea, if you don't know already, is a synthetic data generator for FHIR. It not only generates FHIR, they have other output formats, but what Synthea has done is quite remarkable. So they have actually modeled the whole clinical workflow. There are different clinical workflows that you can configure in the workflow builder as well. But using these different workflows, they generate realistic data. Now, again, most of the time as a developer, you may not have access to real world FHIR data, and you might be wondering like, how can I test my application if I don't have actual data? Now that's where a tool like Synthea really shines. You can set up Synthea. It's just a simple Java application. There's a jar. You can also like clone the repo. It's completely open source. I think it's maintained by MIT MITR. I think that's how it's pronounced. But they do a lot of government work. It's again like funded by the US government. But we have a lot of methods here to set things up, generate different data points. You can have 1,000 patients, you can have 1,000 encounters, you can have like different things. But what is very significant with Synthea is that the data that you get is super realistic. So if you look at a patient and if you look at an encounter and see all the different observations and the medications and all of that, it will actually reflect a real world clinical picture. So the patient might have an observation with the temperature of, like 100°F, and then they might go to a hospital, then they might then they'll have a diagnosis of fever. Then a doctor would prescribe paracetamol for the fever, and then they'll end, right? And they're able to do all of this because they have this extensive library of different workflows and how to generate this different data points using these workflows. So I think Synthea is an asset to the community, and it's excellent. So you definitely need to check it out if you don't have it already. So I will again leave a link down below to Synthea and other resources. Do check them out. So it's again a super realistic test data generator. It can output FHIR, but it can also output other formats. You can just get a CSV, and it's super customizable. You can build your own workflows. You can change your own resources how you like. We did a project for the German government once where we had to customize Synthea to work with the German FHIR profiles. It was quite interesting. I'll see if I can put a case study down below as well. But again, Synthea is a must-know tool if you're working with FHIR. So number 10 and the last in this list is the FHIR Foundry. Now, this is a very recent announcement. In fact, they just announced it last year in FHIR Dev Days in Minneapolis. And it is a collection of all the different FHIR projects out there. And in fact, you will definitely find a lot of the tools that I've talked about in FHIR Foundry. So FHIR Foundry is just a collection of everything FHIR. You have implementation guides, you have different tools that you can use, you have different, fully fledged FHIR servers that are ready to run. So again, this is a community effort to put everything in one place. And for example, you can just explore all of the different projects here. They sorted by country, they sorted by different functions. It's just getting started, so it's just still gaining traction. There is a lot more work to be done, but you can probably get your work indexed here too. If you have a notable FHIR project that is pretty cool, then you can put it out here. So let me know in the comments if I've missed anything, or if you think there are any other FHIR tools that everybody else needs to know about. Now, I think the last one, the FHIR Foundry, is a catch-all for all of the other tools that I might have missed out. But again, if you want to learn more about FHIR, and if you just want to get a full understanding, we just released the HL7 FHIR Fundamentals course on our website. It's completely free for everyone to just understand what FHIR is all about, and we take you from the basics all the way to actually knowing and dealing with FHIR. We use all these tools and show you how to set up a FHIR server. We show you how to build a facade, and there's a lot more out there. So do go to our website and check it out. If you're a little bit more advanced user of FHIR, then we also have more stuff for you. So just go to our website. And I'll leave a link down below to everything. And once again, thanks for watching. I will see you again in the next one.